Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I love you and God loves you best. Hey babe, welcome back to my channel. We are back with another review of Love After Lockup, Season 5, Episode 9, Rules of Engagement. Look, I know that I'm a little late. I'm tardy for the party. But the good news is I've watched all the episodes. I've got my notes. So I'm going to do this episode and then I'm going to do the next episode right after this. Because yesterday was mi mama's cumpleaños. Yes, it was her birthday and we are celebrating. And I am going out of town tomorrow with she. And we are going on a little vacation, on a cruise of her choice. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm hoping that we have a wonderful time. As a matter of fact, I know we're going to have a wonderful time because me and me mama always are on the turn up. Okay? So let's get into Love After Lockup. I am going to go in the order of the deranged couples. Okay? So we got Zaria and Troy. So this seems longer than what it is, but it's only been 4 days that this man has been out. 4 days. And they're still fighting. And they caught Zaria talking about, on the phone, talking about her shit with the cheating, infidelity and stuff. And so then she pulls Troy into the room. That's where we left off. So he's in the room. And so she starts to want to fight with him. And I really feel like it was all to deflect like what was really going on. And she's like yelling and screaming. And he's like, okay, first of all, can we just talk calmly? Can we not yell? And she's like, you know what? I can't do this right now. I can't. Because he wanted to be rational. Soon as he came at her rationally, then she just wanted to just not talk. She didn't want to talk about it at all. And I'm like, that's not effective communication. I'm trying to hold my phone. That's not effective communication. So how do you expect to get anywhere if you're just going to be yelling at somebody? Because if he came at you like that, then I'm sure homeboy would probably be on a violation and be back locked up. So then all of this, I really feel like is because she is jealous of Yana. At the end of the day, she is intimidated and she is jealous of his baby mama. I mean, let's just be honest. At the end of the day, while Zaria is not unattractive, she's not the most attractive. Is that fair? Is that fair to say? Okay. So it was very interesting that Troy used the words scorned husband and loving friend to describe how he chose to reintroduce himself into the relationship with Zaria after her cheating on him. He was like, at first he didn't know if he was going to get over it or if he wanted to get over it because he was a scorned husband. But he forgave and he chose to be a loving friend. And then he just gave like this kind of like stoic face. So I was like, scorned. I was like, I would hate to think that he is going to get you back, girl. I would just hate to think that he is on the get back somewhere up in there. But so Karen, I feel like she is all up in the mix. And Zaria brought Karen in the mix when she invited Karen to the house. She brought Karen in the mix when she invited Karen to church. She brought Karen in the mix when she wanted her to be so involved because she wanted this nucleus of a family. that doesn't exist as of yet, because you still have the entity of Yana that exists, and she's not going to be a part of this nucleus, but you want her daughter to be all up in this, concoction of a family. This is a blended family, and that's what it's always going to be. But I do feel like Karen is playing double dutch with people. She said in the beginning, she was like, Yana is a good mama, but she is a bitch. That's what she said. She said that woman was a bitch, and that she just like to keep up stuff, yah. But it seemed like to me that Karen has a good rapport with Yana. If Yana could come to her talking about what Zaria has been doing while Troy has been locked up, and how did she know about all of this? So, Troy, do you still have communication with your baby mama other than besides baby Troy? I mean, we want to know. So then Karen's sitting there waiting. I think she got this look on her face like she just like she is waiting for the wrong move to be made, because she is not going to see her son go back to prison. So she's sitting there. All in all, Zaria starts to say that, she needs to hear Troy say all these things to her. Translation: she needed Troy to indulge her delusion and indulge and patronize her, because what she wants is for him to be confrontational with his baby mama, all to appease her insecurities. That's what it's all about. And that's what it's all about. So then they're en route to Buffalo. And then little Troy calls on the phone. She sounds so sweet. She's looking forward to seeing her daddy. And then they arrive at Miss Karen's house in Buffalo. And they have the backyard all prepared and set up for Troy's welcoming. So a day has passed since they were supposed to be there. Zaria and all of that conflama held them up a whole entire day. Just want to put that out there. So then his sister Jackie, she greets Zaria. She talks to her. She's asking her how she's doing. And then Lloyd's cousin, Troy's cousin Lloyd, greets Troy. He was cute too. He was a little baby. I was like, hey Lloyd, how you doing? And so he was all up in the video, and he was like, between, with him having his daughter and him having his brothers, because he was like, even though that's his cousin, he was like, that's like his brother. They've been there for each other since day one. He was like, and he not going back to prison. He got other dreams and aspirations that he trying to achieve. So he know for sure, they're going to hold him down and he going to be straight. So, Jackie stresses and addresses her concerns about Troy being all the way in Syracuse with no actual family, no immediate family or friends there that are like a lifeline for him to reach out to. Because as far as she's concerned, Zaria is still a stranger. Yeah, they might be married, but they have never been on the outside in the real world together. So as far as she's concerned, she's still a stranger. So she has some concerns about, how things are going to go, especially with, the blow up that just went down. And that's what I was saying. I don't know how Zaria wouldn't think that people aren't already looking at her when they know that that whole situation was as a result of her. So we'll see how that works out. And then she had the audacity to ask Jackie, who's banging baby Troy? Girl, who you think? Moving right along. Troy and Shantae. I'm going to go through this real fast. Okay, so they in the Cape, and True is waiting his fate. Is he going to go back lockdown, or is he just going to be on a faux lockdown that is house arrest? So then, he is getting ready. He doing all of these stops and runs before he get to the PO office. We shoot to Shantae packing up, because he said he had got her a room because they was at her house last time before she came back to Cape Girardeau. So she's packing up. Observation: Shantae, you need a lint roller. You need to get all that lint off that cami, because it was very saturated with lint. Number 2 observation: black cami, black bra. That's all I'm saying, friend. I know you put on your denim jacket, and that was a good concealer, nice concealer, but because you took it off, black cami, black bra. You're welcome. So we find out that, okay, he got paroled to house arrest. He got a second chance. Let's see what he do with it. We already know what he gonna do with it. So now he going on house arrest. Where you staying, Troy? Okay. So now we get introduced to these people that we have never met, but now we meet a young lady named Kels. Kels is his brother-in-law's wife. So Kels would be Troy's sister-in-law. Now, I don't know if these are actual legal family tree family members, because he said that Kel's husband he was locked up with. So I don't know if this is a brother from another mother or if this is his actual brother. I'm thinking it's a brother from another mother, and they just hold each other down. So Kel's, he says, his sister-in-law, and he got paroled. He put on his parole application, he's paroled to a female house named Pepper. Not Pepper, Peppa. Like Peppa Pig. Yeah. So Pepper, like salt and pepper. Yeah. So he got paroled to Pepper's house. Now, Shantae pointed out to us that he could have put on his application to be paroled to her house, but he opted not to. Why would you do that, True, when you know you got babies on the way? You parole to some other random's house instead of your baby mama house, where you could be actually bonding and making connection with your soon to be kids and your soon to be actual baby mama. Nevertheless, he opted not to go to Independence. So he calls Kels on the phone. He let him know they're going out to eat. Shantae got the stank face. They meet up at the barbecue place. She's sitting down. She like, who are you again? She was like, yeah, I'm his sister-in-law. She's like, so let me tell you how we met. She's like, oh no, we not gonna tell that story. All she need to know is that we met when we was like 13, 14. I mean, did y'all hunch? Like, why she don't need to know how y'all met? Why she can't know how y'all met? It's not a funny story. Usually people have like a little kiki story, like, oh child, it's a little funny story. Let me tell y'all how we met. But she said, we don't need to go through that. And Shantae, as far as I'm concerned, she was not cordial nor kind as when it comes to strangers or any other female. She never is. And then, like I said, we find out that Peppa is Kel's friend. So we'll see where that goes. Also, we see that they go to the house because Shantae wants to see where the house is. So he takes her around to Pepper's house. She says it looks scary from the outside, and that's where that ends. So we'll see next time how that meeting and greeting goes. Next we have Arthur and Hope. Now Arthur is planned to meet with Hope's sisters. So Hope is already en route to the restaurant to meet up with her sisters Destiny and Brianna, aka Breezy. And so when they arrive and they meet and greet each other, and the voices, oh my God, look at you, look who's at the door. I was like, take it away. Take it all away. Punch him in the face. I don't care. I don't promote violence, but I don't tolerate annoyance either. So there we have that. So one has to be detonated. So she meets up with her sisters and they're discussing Arthur, and Hope is very vague, and she's very aloof in her description of how she met Arthur, which in turn makes the situation even more awkward. But it doesn't seem like she really has a very good track record with her dating history. Destiny was running down the thing, and the thing that stuck out to me, she was like, you're not gonna talk about no married husband, people with kids. I was like, you be sleeping with people's husbands, Hope? What you around there doing? So she was talking about that, and then she finally said, let's take a shot. She was like, oh, you need a shot to introduce us to your man? She was like, all right, well, let me tell you, his name Arthur. And then the sister Destiny was like, oh, I think I know that name. Oh, Arthur. Looking like a mullet in the face. With her, look like if you just thumped her in the chest, it'll just collapse. I mean, it was really scary looking at her sitting up there looking like a flat plate. It was scary. But she was like, I think I heard that name. I know something about that Arthur. And so she was like, he just got out. She was like, oh, I thought I knew it. And she was like, I heard some things about him. And at that very moment, I was like, okay, she don't want to hear nothing good, because I don't know. It just didn't come across as if she anticipated something bad, and she was just ready to roll with that. So it's like she talking about long distance, and they like long distance, and she's like, it's kind of been like a secret, so that's making them even more judgy and more skeptical of this whole situationship. So he's been 10 weeks out, like a little over 2 months. And so like Hope, it's like, girl, you presented Arthur once he arrived to the restaurant, and they, she introduced him. They got their questions or whatever, and then the grandfather and the grandmama show up. Or the vice versa, the other way around. I think the grandparents showed up and then Arthur showed up. But I feel like Hope set Arthur up to fail with her family. And the reason I say that is because, yes, he has all these strikes against him. However, you could have still highlighted positives and said, although he hasn't found gainful employment, he has a wonderful skill set in sewing and what do you call it? Design, clothing design. Is something that he's self-taught, but he's gotten very good at it, and he is hoping to see what will come of that. Now, true story, part of my life, I have somebody who was a part of my life who was incarcerated for several years, and after they were released, they were not paroled, they were released on time served, so they were free. And when they got out, yes, it was hard for them to find work. However, their cousin let them know that he was like, hey, down at the club, they need another bouncer. So he went and he got the job as a bouncer at a nightclub. So he did that for a few years, several years, until he transitioned and he got other employment as an assistant manager in a clothing store. When he left and went from assistant manager in a clothing store, then he transitioned and went to management in another position. So he just continued to advance himself as from that place where he came from. So it's not impossible. It's just, how are you approaching the situation and where are you trying to look? Because you have to be realistic in your job search coming out of prison, especially with certain crimes, offenses. I mean, you have to just think like, okay, if you've been robbing people, don't expect to get hired in a bank or anywhere for that matter where money is involved. Not even in a retail store. Maybe they might hire you for stocking. I don't know. Maybe you might have a chance. But as long as you're not trying to run their cash register, I mean, maybe you might have a chance. Nevertheless, I feel like Hope set Arthur up to fail with her family. The grandparents arrived. They're very sweet. Hope, for whatever reason, she keeps bringing up marriage. Let's just put this out here now, Hope. You two are not getting married. It's never going to happen. So just forget about it. Let it go. Okay? So when Hope finally did speak up, she spoke with no assurance, no conviction whatsoever as it pertains to their relationship, as it pertains to Arthur. It was like she just led him to the wolves. And I understand, no, you can't speak for him, but you could have set the stage and you could have let him know. I wanted to let you know that I just, let them know all these things that are going on with you right now and how you are doing such an amazing job at trying to, transition and, find work and, and try and put some makeup on that triangle. You can't expect going in there like with a whole, come on, Arthur, like be realistic. Like the best advice that was given, as far as I'm concerned, was the grandfather. He was like, let the past be the past. And I feel like hope should be a part of that, and we should leave hope in the past. Now moving on to Bianca and Daniel. Bianca has questions to Robert. She questions Robert about why he kind of why he curved Daniel's decision on wanting to marry her, which I don't feel like you can even interfere with that. That can't be an interference. And if somebody can intercept someone's feelings and be like, I don't think that's a good idea, then that person was already having doubts and they didn't want to do it anyway. Because somebody just coming in saying, trying to convince you don't want to do something, as when it pertains to matters of the heart, that is very difficult. When a person's mind is made up, it is made up. And they will be with that person even if it's to their own detriment. They are going to be with that person. So, he asked her, has she seriously thought about what's going to happen and how their relationship is going to be after he gets out? And she's like, no, not really, but every relationship has problems. And I don't really think she has a true understanding of addiction or sobriety. And that's the problem, because she probably has a little problem with addiction herself, with alcohol. And so then the issue about Daniel relapsing while he was in prison, I believe, with fentanyl, is brought up. And she's like, it's not like he just woke up one morning and decided that he was going to use. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'd rather it had been that way, because at least he would have made a conscious decision to say, you know what, I am going to use today, because he had control over it. He said, I'm going to use today. That's what I want to do. He didn't do that in this situation. So therefore, the substance had control over him. He couldn't turn it away. He couldn't say, I don't want you. I didn't summon you. So, no thank you. He indulged. So I'd rather it had been him making the choice to use as opposed to it just being a whim. It just happened to be there and he said, oh, okay. That's not safe. And then she doesn't like the fact that the family is going to be there upon his release. She thought it was just going to be he and she, but that's not the case. And it looks like she's running late to his release. She's driving up. They're already there. So either they were... This is how my logic working in the salon profession... when I used to work in the salons, on time means you're late. Early means you're on time. So apparently she was late, because maybe she might have been on time and they were early. So they were on time and she was late. Sarah, the cousin, the other cousin. So we met Robert, and we met another cousin named Sarah. She seems very whimsical and very loving, and she's like, oh, I think we're going to be best cousins, talking about she and Bianca. And she's like, oh, I can't wait to spend time with her and Daniel, and we're just going to have such a wonderful time with my fiance and her and Daniel, being engaged. And I think Robert intercepted and was like, they aren't engaged. That's not for real. That's make believe. That's what she wanted, but that's not what it is. And so then she expresses her feelings. She's like, I don't think he wants me to be a part of their family. He can say what he wants, but I don't think he likes me. And I'm thinking, does he really have a reason to like you? Did you give him a reason? And as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, in all of this whole situation, that's the one thing that you got right, is that man does not fancy you. Moving right along, we have Julian and Christine. And so now Christine believes that she's a comedian, and she says she's naturally funny, and she attributes it to trauma. People have patronized this woman. People have told her lies and expressed that she's funny when in fact she is not. And I think that is the most cruel thing that you could do. Just let her know, I think, you have funny moments. You might have said some funny things, but I wouldn't say that you have a career in comedy. But to no avail. And her stage name is Chris 50. Now, I don't know. Oh, she says that the 50 is in reference to her robberies, because it was give me 50s. So Chris 50. And I feel like she basks and she glorifies in these offenses that she committed. She says that she doesn't, but I really do believe so. Julian is like, I really thought you would pick up more shifts. I thought you were going to do more with work. She's like, oh, this conversation is getting weird. I can't take this right now. She started irking and jerking. And she was like, I just can't. She started having hot flashes. She was like, I just want to do my one mic night. I just want to make people laugh. That's all I want to do. And you want to talk to me about money and work and all of that stuff. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. He's like, look, bitch, I need you to get on the hustle. You need to pick up the shit and you need to get it rocking. So we're not going to have none of this, what you giving me. And she was like, nigga, I'm about to do my one mic. And he was like, all right. So she was like, are you gonna be there? He's like, maybe, maybe not. Who's to say? So Christine, she goes out. She's en route to the mic night. She meets up with her work friends. And she's not supposed to drink, but she orders a shot because it takes the edge off for her. And then coming to the stage is none other than Chris 50. Moving right along, we have Joey and Kim. So this was just real. I didn't like this at all, because I feel like Joey is doing Kim real nasty, and I ain't like it. So right now, this is not a happy engagement. Joey walked in the house and Kim let him know that she got a friend request from his ex. And she was like, did you get a friend request from the ex? And he was like, yeah. Then his slip started showing because he started talking too much. And then after he started talking too much, his Mac game just started declining. And then he let Kim know that, oh, she was like, how she got your number? He said Mike gave it to her. Now, see, it's all about wording. He said Mike gave it to her. He didn't say I said Mike could give her my number, because that's what it actually was. Mike just involuntarily give her a number. He told Mike, whoever Mike is, that he could give her his number. And that's what Mike did. So then Kim finds out that they've been communicating via WhatsApp, which was the ex's suggestion, and Joey followed. And so then he says that, it's really like he just trying to get some closure, but I don't know if he on his get back. I don't really know what exactly Joey's game is right here, but at this point he snatches the phone out of Kim's hand. He's like, give me back my fucking phone, fuck that engagement party, I don't give a fuck about that, blah, 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 blah. And then he storms out the door. She's like, where are you going? He's like, I'm gonna be where I'm at. He's like, Why don't you invite so-and-so? Y'all could be best friends. That's where I thought he was being nasty and gaslighting her, because all of this is because of you. Because none of this would be going on had you not asked Mike to go and get this girl your number. You dug all of this up. So now you want to say, oh, F this stupid ass shit. But you created all of this. So now you going to Freedom Park to go meet up with the ex, because you talking about you need all this closure and you want to see what she want. But in fact, it's what do you want? What you want? Because you the one going to meet up with her. In my eyes, I feel like Joey sound like a hurt puppy over his ex. And all the why you did this to me, I want to know, because he keeps talking about how she ghosted him when he was locked up, and he was like, she ain't have to do me like that. Yeah, he sound like a hurt puppy. Last but not least, very least, we got Tisha and Keith. And I just want to say, if I didn't say before, I don't like that picture of Keith. They got a nicer picture of Keith in the profile with the, yeah, that's a much nicer picture of Keith. That little boy picture, he don't look like that no more. So why y'all still showing that? Like, anyway, Keith ain't coming home. They gotta move. Tisha actually recommended that she might be moving the oldest girl away from her daddy, and that's when she perked up like, what, we moving? What you talking about? Because she cared nothing about Keith not coming home. She was very indifferent. She could take it or leave it. And the Lebanon auntie over there talking about, well, that's a good thing. At least you know you don't know how you feel. She know how she feels. She was just trying to spare y'all feelings. Then the little girl, the little baby, poor baby, she was so distraught over the whole situation. And so fast forward, we know that Keith is out. He got out, and Tisha might be going in. So that was this episode of Love After Lockup. Let me know what you thought in the comments section. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and as always, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate my new subscribers. Thank you so much. It means so much to me. And tell a kin, tell a friend. You could even tell that hoe you hate. It don't matter to me. A blessing is a blessing, however you receive it. I appreciate everything that you guys do. It means so much, because I mean, I come and I do it because I really enjoy it, and I am committed to staying in this, and y'all gonna see I'm fully committed. Yes I am. So until next time,